Hi, my name is Austin. I'm from here in Oregon, Westland, and this is my Millennium Falcon that I recently built. I mainly built it because I've always loved the UCS Ultimate Collector Series set, and it's very expensive. So I kind of thought, I'll just make my own version because I love the Falcon, I love Star Wars, and it's such a beautiful ship. And it was also kind of a challenge I wanted to create for myself because I'm used to building landscapes and I've never really done a spaceship before. And so that was something I thought, I really should try and challenge myself and try something new.
Yeah, and as you were working on this, what did you use as kind of the inspiration? Were there like photos you were looking at, or how did that work?
Well, a lot of it was Google Images. Also, just freeze framing movies, pausing it and looking at details. I actually found a great, just cheap model at a comic book store that I totally used as reference to find kind of the basic, the basic tubing. And, one of the main things I really focused on was trying to get all the tubes right, all the different pipes and I don't know what they would be, gas lines, different things like
Greebling type of stuff.
Yeah, the greebling. Yeah, the greebling's really fun. So that was something I really tried to focus on, was getting all the pipes right. Some of it in the back is me just having fun because you can go crazy and use whatever piece you want. But yeah, a lot of what I really tried to focus on was making sure I really had, an iconic look. I spent a lot of time just sitting in my LEGO room staring at it and thinking, is this really what I see when I see the Falcon? And that I feel very happy with it. And there's also things I feel this will never really be a completed project. It will always be something that I'll change, I'll add to as new pieces develop. Maybe one day we'll have wedges that don't have studs on them, and I'll be able to make the entire thing tiled. So.
Right, there you go. Yeah, give it an even more sleek look. Now, there's so many cool details in here, and I think this even has an interior, so can you show us some of that then?
I can show you a couple things. I was able to make a little port here that you can open up, and you can kind of see inside. I have a light. There's like a little hyperdrive inside there, and you can kind of see down in that way. I also, if you remember from, I believe it's Empire Strikes Back, Lando saves Luke out of a hatch from the bottom of Cloud City, comes out of the Falcon.
Yeah.
And actually by turning this little knob here, you can see it opens up and he could come right out. You can fit a figure through that little hatch, and then you can go right inside. A lot of this area, which does have the game room and all, is kind of hard to get to. I'm working on making it easier to get into and look at without breaking it. But one thing I did make easy is to look at the cockpit over here, which was actually, interesting story, was the first thing I built. And I based the entire build off of the cockpit. So I actually, sometimes when I build stuff, I have a lot of trouble with really trying to make the scale right. I try to make it, I'll try and make it and then I end up making it too big, or, I really wanted to get the right scale. And so what I did is actually I started with the cockpit, and I made that as accurate as I could. And once I had the size of the cockpit, I measured that out and then took a bird's eye view of just a Falcon on Google Images, and then basically I measured everything by how many cockpits it was long. Okay. So, however wide the cockpit was, I measured that off the small one and then based that off of mine and said, okay, well, it needs to be this many cockpits wide, and then it should be accurate. So I actually used the cockpit to basically build the entire thing.
Yeah, so you kind of start with that area and then you can scale it up from there. That works well. Now, any idea how many pieces are in this total?
I am not aware of how many pieces. The cool thing about building a Millennium Falcon is that you don't need brand new nice pieces. I didn't have to go on Bricklink and buy all these brand new expensive pieces. I just went and found bulk pieces that were yellowed and messed up, and that was the best look because the Falcon is not iconically a clean and beautiful ship. It's a dirty piece of junk, as it is named many times in the movie. So yeah, it worked great to just get, it was more affordable that way too, so.
Right. And I know you mentioned earlier that you usually do a lot of landscaping type things. What is the hardest part about kind of transitioning from that building into building this type of spaceships?
The panels, putting all the panels, and something I really wanted to focus on was making sure my seams were really clean and, there weren't gaps between all the wedges and stuff like that. Also, the frame, making it strong. I actually have a full double layer Technic beam frame underneath, so I have studs facing up and down, so it made it really easy to build on the bottom and the top, and that way it's really strong. You do need two people to pick it up, but I made it easy to pick up so it's not dangerous to move it anywhere.
Right. So you can just pick this whole thing up and just move it as one piece, the whole
Yeah,
thing?
yeah, it moves as one piece. It should, sometimes you lose a couple pieces in the back, but besides that, it's pretty rugged. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's very impressive. Any plans for maybe more spaceships in the future now that you've experimented with this?
Yeah, actually, I really enjoyed it, and I enjoy the challenge. I mean, I'll always continue to love to build landscapes, but my dad's really into comic books, and I was kind of like, find me a cool spaceship in your comic books, and maybe I'll build that. So in the future, I think I'll have more, and yeah, I really like it.
Yeah, there you go. Well, thank you. I appreciate you taking us through the build. It's very impressive.
Get a shot of it with
There you go, yeah.
full cockpit on.
Let's see if Austin can remember how to get it back on his own ship.